So three real themes for today. We're going to look at an old secret, which we're going to get into, which Jung was very interested in. We're going to look at Jung's notion of persona and shadow. These notions are related to our conscious daily lives, what we might think of as me, our personal stories, and our shadow, which is our personal unconscious, which are the traits and the values and the ideas that maybe have not had full expression in our lives for whatever reason. And then we're going to touch on the awakening of the imagination, which I've already touched on so far. And there we're getting into the deeper layers of the unconscious. So for Jung, the shadow was the personal unconscious, was my unconscious, and the imagination was what he called the collective unconscious, the unconscious of the ages, of eternity. So an old secret. So this is an excerpt from the Emerald Tablet, which is a piece of Hermetic wisdom, and it says, "'Tis true without lying, certain and most true. That which is below is like that which is above, and that which is above is like that which is below, to do the miracles of one only thing." This is a Gnostic and Pythagorean idea. The one thing is the idea of the unity of all things in the beginning. All numbers, Pythagoras said, come from one. They emanate from the one. That's where you get multiplicity. And in the beginning, this myth goes, all things were one and complete and undifferentiated. We have here from the tarot the magician pointing above and pointing below. We have the roses of red and white, red alluding to the sun and white alluding to the moon, day and night, and the union of these opposites. This is incidentally Newton's translation. That's Isaac Newton writing in the I think 17th century or something like that. So one of the most preeminent scientists, one of the first and most preeminent scientists who's given birth to a lot of our current worldviews around science, was studying this old wisdom, this old Hermetic knowledge, which flows to us from ancient Egypt, went then to Arabia, and then was translated into Latin in Florence by Marsilio Ficino and those guys. So what does this mean, as above, so below? Well, here's a star, and a star is what you see above. When the night's clear, where there's no clouds in the sky, this is what opens up, is stars. And stars are light, and the sun is our local star. And so symbolically, all that illuminates is star-like, because as I say, the sun, which is giving us light right now, is our local star. And so we've got a mythic association with the star and light. And so the below aspect of this is the light of our consciousness. So it's this thing here. It's the light that is kind of paying attention in this moment, the light of our consciousness, the attention that we're paying to this event right now, the information that we're integrating. And so to transform something from unconscious to conscious is to illuminate it. So if you don't know something and are unaware of something and become aware of something, symbolically, that's an illuminating process. I found this really fascinating slide, which I personally feel kind of validates that old Hermetic saying, as above, so below. These are all elements of the one thing. And it's just an image of all the different patterns within nature. You've got rivers there, you've got the great Milky Way, you've got a storm, plants, the iris. You've got these fractal patterns, these strange similarities in the natural world, and the correspondence between the different planes, the above and the below. Found this one really interesting as well. The death of the star, the birth of a cell, the eye and the nebula, the brain cell and the universe. And so, I suppose what point am I making with this? I'm just wanting to highlight, okay, the point I'm making with this is that this is how the natural philosophers of the Middle Ages and of the last few thousand years really kind of thought about the world. They thought in terms of planes of correspondence. They thought the great heavens above, the sun, the moon, Saturn, Mars, like all of these great celestial things above corresponded in some strange way to the below, to the soul. So as the universe, so the soul, went the Hermetic saying. And they thought that there was a correspondence between those planes. And Jung had similar ideas, so that's why I wanted to lay it out really. By the way, guys, any questions at all, just do shout. Yeah, this is a fractal pattern, and so we've got the spiraling of, the way I see this is like, like an individual life. The spiraling of an individual life and the great life of the cosmos, the micro, the macro corresponding. Here's a really beautiful piece of